Hi, it's Patty Jackson, and I'm here to share the 4 things that you can control so that you can go from chaos to calm and positively influence the outcome of any given situation. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about chaos as anything where you see something going on outside you and it feels so random that you feel like you are about to explode, where you feel completely out of control and it doesn't seem like you're going to be able to keep your calm. The 4 things that you can control are your breath, your focus, your imagination, and your response. I'm going to talk more about those in a little while and give you some concrete strategies that you can use starting today on leading a more positive outcome in your life. The reason why this is so important to me is because I have taught these concepts to so many different people, and I get feedback from people saying my family runs so much better. My kids are doing fine now. They can go from a place where their kids have complete anxiety problems to the whole family running as a system that's better. It typically happens when there is someone in the family who is a little bit more volatile than the other. And their way of handling things that are out of their control is to either become controlling and micromanaging or to explode in frustration and yell at instead of influencing better outcomes. I go through so many more of these layers of things in my Personal Leadership Masteries program. And when I'm done with sharing the 4 things that you can control, I will share a little bit more about that program. But let's get back to the going from chaos to calm. The first time I ever did this was when my children were small. I had 5-year-old twins getting ready to go to school and catch the school bus along with a 9-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son. And I was a mom who really wanted to teach my kids to be responsible. Sure, I could drive them to school, but I wanted them to learn how to be independent. And part of being independent was being able to take the bus, get to school, and be successful at the beginning of the day. Well, on this particular morning, it didn't look like it was going to happen. Time was running late, people weren't finding their socks and shoes, and I was starting to get worked up. What I didn't realize is that inside, my thoughts were starting to become pretty chaotic, and they were starting to become pretty harsh on myself. Oh no, they're not going to be able to do this. I'm not being a good mom. I should have had this done. I should teach them this. Whoa. I didn't even realize this was going on until the moment happened where the chaos got so big and the 2 boys were sitting at the table fighting and I was about to explode. I had the vision of blowing up in my head, and I immediately took care of the 4 things that I could control. What are those things? The first thing is your breath. When there's chaos going on, both inside of us and outside of us, what people tend to do is to start to breathe shallow. And when we breathe in a shallow manner, we're not able to really connect our thoughts with our heart and soul's desires and that clear picture solution that we need to lead. So when you powerfully control your breath, in chaos, what you do is you take some deep breaths and open up and actually give yourself space around you. I call this your energy bubble, your energy field around you. With a couple deep breaths, you can start to become aware of things going on inside. That is where my chaos started, and I wasn't aware. The second thing that I can do then is to control my focus. Instead of focusing on those kids fighting outside of me and the fact that the bus wasn't going to come next, I took my focus and I focused inside. Now, when I first went inside, I was judging myself because the reason why I started to apply these things that I wanted to control was because I had that idea of I wanted to slam those 2 kids' heads together. Now, I wasn't really going to do that, but that's the thought that really heightened my awareness and helped me remember, whoa, it's time to start to influence this situation from my power. So I became aware of that, and I continued. What else am I aware of in here? What can I focus on? And at first, the thought that it was focused on was, I don't want the kids to fight. Like, no, that's not even true, and I let that focus go. And in a few seconds, I was able to focus on what I wanted. And what I wanted was to be that mom standing at the front window, watching those 4 kids get on the bus. The third thing that I can control is my imagination. So once I became aware of that thought, I let myself imagine it for a minute. I could almost see myself standing there. I could almost see 4 kids getting on the bus. And as I focused on my imagination and what I really wanted, I was aware that the thing that means the most to me, one of my deepest values, is to be a mom that positively influences my kids. The reason why I was getting worked up is because earlier in the day, I started to tell myself I wasn't being the very person I valued being so much. And that's where I started getting really worked up inside. So now, when I've taken care of that third thing that I can control, my imagination, it was time for my fourth thing that I can control, and that's my response. So now that I know what I wanted, I asked myself, how can I respond? I had completely changed my inside environment from chaotic thoughts and random, I don't want screaming thoughts inside, the stress, to calmness. And the answer to how can I respond was crystal clear. Just simply walk over and say, okay, boys, it's time to get your shoes on. Let's get on the bus. And the way I would have done that would have been really from calm, clear, assertive energy, like the dog whisperer says. But by the time I took that focus then from that response to the outside in the kitchen, those boys had stopped fighting and were moving on. Maybe I was adding my chaos to their chaos or their chaos to mine, probably a little bit of both. But any step that I take, even if I don't get immediate results right away, I'm developing a better habit. I'm teaching people how to treat me, and over time, positive results will come. Because here's what I know. If I would have blown up and yelled at the kids and said, get your shoes on and get out the door, what would have happened is I would have felt really bad about being the mom I didn't want to be. They'd come in the door at the end of the day, and I'd be sort of looking for, oh my gosh, did they have a bad day, and is it my fault because of it? And that downward spiral just keeps going. Then the next morning when the stress is there, it's easier to do the, oh no, I don't want to blow up, and add more of this chaos inside me. So just simply taking these 4 things that you can control and applying them time and time again, you start to establish really clear, better habits, both in how you are navigating your inside world and how you're navigating your relationships and your challenges outside of you. And that's how things grow. One thing that's important to know is that 4th step of response, sometimes a response is a reaction, and you can't control that. A reaction is just a habit of exploding or micromanaging or reacting to someone else because you haven't applied this long enough. But you can control your response to a reaction. So let's say you reacted, you blew up, you did something you didn't like to do. You can take a deep breath and again choose to control your focus. Focus on, bad Patty, you shouldn't have done that, or focus on, oh, wow, I made a mistake, I feel really bad. What do I want? What's right with me? What do I want? How can I get there? I hope these 4 strategies are helping you learn and feel and notice things that you can do right away anytime you're feeling like there's chaos going on in your life, and turn some things around. If this sounds interesting to you, the 4 things you can control are part of the Personal Leadership Masters program. In the program, it's an 8-week online course where I will give you some concepts and then some tools, ways that you can really sit down, write on paper, and get crystal clear on what it is that you want, your way, and how you can bring more of that to your life. Because when we lead ourselves forward through challenges from our power, life is fulfilling. Life feels rewarding. I can love myself more, and I can see myself as the person here being who I want to be. And when I do that, I can dream exciting dreams, experience them, and continue that forward momentum of life being great. In the program, it is online through Zoom, a live video webinar streaming program. You can attend online and be seen in a video, so it's like a video classroom. If you don't want to be seen, if you want to be quiet and listen, you can have your little square up there and not have your video on. There's a chat box so you can ask questions. And if you can't make it that day, the class will be recorded and in a private folder for the participants to be able to watch anytime they want for at least a year. So the concepts that you're learning here, you can practice time and time again. You can go from chaos to calm by first becoming aware that you're feeling chaos inside, or noticing the chaos outside and using your breath to fill up a really nice space around you so you can look in and bring your focus in. You can look at what's going on inside and notice everything there. Chances are there's pretty intense feelings. And when we focus on those feelings, like these feelings are what's right with me, instead of, oh my God, this feeling of frustration is huge and there's something wrong with me, just by accepting your feelings as something right with you is what helped me to move all of those thoughts that were running around and get clear, boom, on that picture perfect desire that was in line with my deepest values. And then that focus on here and looking at what's going on inside, noticing what's there, accepting it, and then focusing on what do I want instead of what is it I don't want. Focusing on what do I want, what's right with me, what do I want, are two powerful questions you can ask anytime you're aware of feeling chaos. The third step comes in, and that's your imagination. Now, a lot of times we imagine things, and when we're done with the imagination, we think, yeah, but it's never going to happen. Or if this happens, I don't get this. When you're powerfully controlling your imagination so you can influence a positive outcome in the world around you, you're taking that imagination and painting it till the picture is crystal clear, till you have everything in there that you want. So let's say I'm imagining that I want the boys to stop fighting and get on the bus. But I think, yeah, but if they get on the bus, then they're going to have that problem on the bus with that bully. I got to keep painting that imagination till it's clear and it feels really good. I want them to stop fighting. I want them to get on the bus. I want to be a really good mom. And I want those kids on the bus to be kind to my kids and know my kids have everything that they need to handle people who are picking on them. Okay, now my imagination would be finished because I don't have any fearful thoughts in that final picture of what I want for the solution. Now, I'm doing this all about parenting, but this can happen with anything. If your business has a challenge, if you have a relationship challenge with someone else, these steps work. Continue painting and using your imagination until you get the full, clear picture of what you want. And then ask yourself, what's one step I can take? If you love this material and you know you want to learn more, please sign up for Personal Leadership Masters. I'd love to have you in class. If you aren't certain yet and you'd like to be a little more certain, join me in my next video. It is titled, The Liberating Freedom of Healthy Boundaries. I can't wait to teach you more there. Maybe you want to sign up for the class and join me in the next video. Whatever it is, let's keep growing.